showed you how to get this. Now notice how I have the front and back on the same page. When you shrink each one, they're going to be really little compared to your page. So I'm going to suggest when you put it down on the printer to put down both of your pictures at once so that you can conserve paper. That'll help out. This extra stuff is not going to be totally wasted. We're going to use it to help us out. So when you're ready to start working, you're going to cut out each of your items. And I'm going to suggest that you first just sort of roughly cut them out. You don't have to be super careful. And you're going to notice that they look really cute. Like any little teeny error you made, it's not really going to show up. They're going to look, they're just lovely when they're little. And all of your lines are going to tighten up and look darker. Incidentally, I would do a test print. Sometimes that particular copy machine prints things a little dark or a little bit too light, so you might have to play with the contrast on the machine. You might have to bump it up or down. On our machine in the office, I always have to bump it up a little bit with more contrast. So make sure you can still see the stitching and stuff. I'm also going to suggest, if the copy place is far away from your house, print 2 of everything. Just in case you mess up, then you don't have to go back again. Okay? When we go to lay these out, I had mentioned before that we're going to overlap the tops on top of the fronts on top of the backs. Okay? This particular copy paper, if I overlap front over back, you see how the copy paper is really thin, and you can see the lines showing through. You guys see that? Okay. This is where the extra paper comes in handy. So whether you're overlapping a front over a back, or whether, like right here, I've got the pant overlapping the border a little, I think sometimes it's kind of fun for them to burst free out of the border. Okay? If any time you're going to overlap one thing over another, I want you to take the thing that's going to overlap and glue it first, because it's very draggy. Glue it first and really, really glue it. Hopefully you've got a new juicy glue stick when you go to do this. I need to go buy another one. Okay, we'll pretend that this is completely coated. You want this really, really coated. Okay. If any dark stuff gets stuck on there, get rid of it, because it'll show through your paper. Now notice how when I glued on top of paper instead of on top of here. Your mom or roommate or whomever will be really mad if you glue directly here. Use paper to protect your work surface. Then on another blank area, you're going to burnish it down. And by burnishing, I mean really like press it, get rid of the bubbles. Okay? And then at this point, it's going to be double thick. And so when you overlap it over something else, you won't see through. So this is going to give us an extra layer. It's going to make it a little bit more opaque. Okay? So on our shirt, you see how there's this little triangle in here? I didn't cut it out. I think it's easier to cut out interior stuff with a blade. Okay? If you happen to have one, I would try it out. If you don't have one, you can kind of muscle through it with some scissors, but you're going to have an easier time of it with a blade. If you do want to use a blade, please protect your work surface underneath. So even if you're at home and it's just cardboard or like an old cereal box or something, protect your work surface underneath. If you happen to be in another class here in the program, we see behind Holly, there is a gigantic one of these. So, you know, at lunchtime you can go quickly cut out if you want to, if you'd rather cut here. So the way this works, you need to press pretty hard. The blade is on this angled side, and you're just going to press down in until you kind of feel it pop through the paper, and then keeping the pressure, you're just going to basically draw your cut. Who's used one of these before? Cool. Okay. So for corners, I usually draw out of the corner, right? If I drew inward, I might accidentally cut my work. Okay. If you're using scissors, you can cut into the corners as well. Sometimes if you're careful, you can cut out of the corners. Now notice what I'm doing. Am I cutting right on the line? No, I'm leaving like a teeny tiny, almost 1/16 of an inch space. Any idea why? can see the line. If I try to cut on the line, I might accidentally cut the line off, right? And all that careful marker rendering is not going to do us any good. It's also going to help us up here where the straps are. If I cut right on the straps, they're very delicate and they might twist or bend or break. So try to be even and get rid of as much paper as you can, but again, please leave a border. Okay. Once you've got all of your pieces cut out, I would do this process before you actually type your titles. Get all of your pieces. Pretend I'm all cut out here. I've got all sorts of variations on cut out at this point. We'll pretend I'm all cut out. I'm going to suggest you take your border and put it on top of this kind of cheater graph paper. Do you see what happens when I put it on top? I see these little guidelines, and this is going to help me so that when I go to put my skirt down, I can put it down level and not tippy. Okay? If you don't print this out, you can absolutely go in with a ruler and a really light pencil, and you can draw in. So if I line up one of these lines with my edge, draw in really pale pencil lines, just parallel pencil lines. So you'll just move your ruler up. And those level lines will help you align things, because we don't want to like look at this and see just slightly crooked type or slightly crooked drawings. It looks a little bit sloppy. If you do use the pencil method, please go back in and erase it. Okay? I like this because I don't have to erase anything. I can just even like masking tape this down to my surface so stuff doesn't move, and then I can just arrange. Now notice how I've arranged this. The bottoms are on the bottom. Why? It makes sense. You can see an outfit. Like I can see that as like a little suit, maybe. Right? I can see an outfit. I can see her wearing that with that. So put an outfit together, right? Give your person a cue as to what you might wear with what. And I don't care where on the page you put it, but we are looking for balance, right? So I don't want to see this with all of these things shoved over here and a big blank area, okay? So arrange it until you're kind of happy. Just play with it a little bit. I think it's kind of nice to have the dress in the middle if you decide to use the dress, because it's different than the other things and it's kind of triangular shapes. So you're going to play with it and arrange it until you've got a decent balance. So if you've got a certain amount of space between something on one side, do it on the other. Maybe if you've got something hanging off on one side, have it hanging off on the other, so you've got sort of balance going on. As you're arranging it, keep in mind that someplace you're going to have to put a title. You can choose to put your title in the top left, right, middle, on the bottom, wherever you want, but make sure you visualize a place where you want to put your title. Okay? As far as overlapping goes, this isn't doing you any favors to overlap right like that. I can't tell that there's pockets behind there or anything, but you can absolutely overlap quite a bit, but still show, hey, there's a pocket back there, right? Make sure that important stuff shows. That if it's the same as the front view, no need to like show it side to side. You're not going to have enough room for that. Now let's say I'm happy with this. I feel like I need a front view of my skirt. They keep disappearing, right? Let's say I'm basically happy with this. I have 2 cats and kids and a dog. If I go right now to go type up my stuff, what's going to happen to this? It's going to move, okay? Even if you don't have all of that and you have like a household that just is very calm and peaceful, what's going to happen? You're going to want to take this later, put glue on it. How are you going to know exactly where to put it back again? At this point, I would arrange it exactly how you like it, photograph it. Then when it's time to glue it down, you can move it all out of the way if you want to, or one at a time glue it down. And then you can figure out where it is without going, wait, I have it this way or this way, okay? At this point, this is also a good time to figure out how much space you need for your labels. Okay? Now, as far as our labels go, we're going to be using style numbers, and if you're in the other classes in the department, we're using this little system up here for style numbers, and basically what it is you're going to use your initials. So these are my initials. Don't use my initials. Use your initials. Dash 001 for the first item, 002 for the second item, 003 for the third item, and so on. So you're going to have 001, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Under that, I want you to name it. What is that thing? This was a tweed blazer in my mind, so I'm going to label it tweed blazer. You could name it whatever you want. Okay? Trousers, flounce dress, something like that. Come up with a name. It could also be the Sophia dress for all I care. Give it a name, something that you can call up a buyer and say, hey, were you going to order that Sophia dress? Because it's easier to say that than, are you going to order style number SRC003, right? It's painting a picture, okay? Underneath that, you're going to give it a fabric description. How can you figure out fabric if you're not sure? But what if you don't know what it's called and you have it in your head? If you haven't, make it up. What if you have no idea? Okay? I would go online. A lot of these items were Banana Republic items. I would go on Banana Republic, click on a pant, and be like, read their description in their catalog. Oh, 30% viscose, 70% cotton twill. Write down what they wrote. We're faking it. This is not a textiles class. If you don't even have the patience for that, go online and write what I wrote. Okay? We'll talk more about that later. Sizes. We're going to put sizes on here. If you use your t-shirts, and some of you might want to, but there were some really good t-shirts. If you use your t-shirt, would you buy a size 6 t-shirt in the store? What would you buy? Small, medium, large. So if it's a knit stretchy thing, we're going to use letters. If it's a structured woven thing with darts, we're going to use numbers. So numbers, we're going to use even numbers because she's a lady. So it'll be 4 through 16 or 2 through 18, something like that. For stretchy stuff, we'll do extra small through extra large. We'll just keep it simple. And then as far as price goes, if I wanted to send this to a buyer, she probably already has in mind a selling price. She wants to know from us how much she can buy it from us for. So we're going to give a wholesale selling price, the price that they would buy it from the manufacturer. Okay? This is not a costing class. Just imagine in your head, if this is a Banana Republic pant, how much that would cost. How much would it cost in the store? 68, 70 bucks, something like that. Half it. Okay? If it's $70, $35. If you want to make it look really realistic, $34.78 or whatever. Okay? So about half of what you think you pay for it. So I want you to, in your head, think about a store that this would sell in. Maybe it's Sarah, maybe it's Banana, maybe it's The Gap. You know, there's a lot of kind of basic stuff here. Maybe it's Target. I could find some of this stuff at Target. Be thinking about the price point of that particular store, and just the cheater way we're going to do it in here is half. Okay? Type it up. We have a season. What season do you think this would be for? This is an old example. Maybe this is for spring, maybe.
2016.
But would I be designing right now for this year? No.
Yeah.
For next year. So I want to see 2016. You can choose spring or fall or summer. I don't care. But I want to see 2016. Come up with a name for your collection. It doesn't have to be this. You know, somebody did boy meets girl. I thought that was kind of cute because it's sort of masculine inspired things. But be creative if you want to. And then your name. Okay? I'm going to suggest you take, once you have this list typed, I would copy it and do a size smaller font, and copy it and do a size smaller font, so when you print it, you've got some options, just in case it comes out and everything's way too big, you can just cut out the next size smaller. Make sense? Any questions? No? All right, that's it. See you guys next week.